Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for coming out, checking this out. Whatever, you're watching this in the past, watching it now. Thanks for coming out. We are going to go back at it for a little bit, I guess, free time before I have to really start unpacking. In my palace here, temporary palace that's going away. Go more immersive and walk out boss like. I'm gonna have to change something real quick. And don't worry, folks, I'm still here. Just giving myself admin. Forgot to do that before the stream started. And can't have that password getting out, right? Right. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and switch on back. Alright. Sorry, keep alt-tabbing, trying to get the window ready. Gotta watch my stream and have fun. Guys, one more time. Sorry, folks. Always a rough start. I'll get this down eventually. I'm definitely no pro streamer by any measure. Purely for fun. And with this case, I kind of want to promote the server a little bit. Get some interested folks out here. Alright, so going from yesterday, or the last stream, if you will, we created this wall, which set the outlines of our capital city. And then we built our prison barracks. Our prison and guardhouse, essentially. All in one. And then to top it off, we created our not our prison, our temple. Mitra temple. So today we're going to continue filling out the main ground level of the city. And if we've got enough time, maybe we'll throw in some buildings, more buildings. My favorite part is building. Decorating, not so much. I like decorating to some extent, but in creative mode it's a little annoying because the items that you build, you have to look up. Or you have to actually just build them. And even in creative mode. Which can be a little daunting. Excuse me. Just woke up, so my voice is a little, coffee raspy, if you will. So, yeah, decorating can be a little time-consuming, especially if you don't know the item IDs of what you want, because then you're kind of just scrolling. And the scrolling is the part I hate the most, let's be honest. It's like digging through your favorite toy box as a kid, and you're spoiled and you got too many toys, trying to find that one gun for your G.I. Joe or whatever. It's daunting. And by the end of it, you just don't want to play anymore. And that actually sums up quite... I don't know why I was about to delete that. No need to delete. No need to delete, right? That's why. I was wondering why we couldn't build there. I'm gonna square that. Hmm. Need it there? Oh, that there? Okay. Oh, yesterday or on the previous stream, I was, excuse me, I'm trying to remember the server hosting name the company I was working with or using, and that is Server Blend. Server Blend, I highly recommend. Excellent customer service. Still haven't replied to that email, which I really need to do. But even after starting the server, about a week after starting it, they messaged me and they said, hey, how's the server going? Everything working out for you? Things like that. Which, obviously, everything's going good. It was just nice that they went through and took that effort. So right now I'm doing the spell to clear all the materials nearby. This makes cleanup so much easier. If only we could have a cleanup button like that in creative mode. There you go, devs. Doesn't need to be a spell or anything that takes time. And I honestly don't even want the other spells. If we could just get a clean area button, it would be phenomenal. So, as far as the ramps, I hate the ramps for the stone brick. They look cool in their own right, but they look like just a platform that was plopped down. And I've got to come up with something else. We got to use something else for the ramps that's not going to be too insanely obvious that the texture is way different. I thought about the is it reinforced? No, we're using reinforced. Thought about maybe the stone brick, but even then, again, it looks like just a slab that's tipped over and landed. Which that could work, but God, is it obnoxious looking. And I am using the wrong. Let's just go across from. Not like that. I'm trying to minimize the amount of foundations I use. I know it really doesn't look like it. But I don't want to build foundations that nobody's gonna see under the ground sort of thing. but obviously we're going to have the stability as we're going to be building a lot of buildings and stuff on top of this foundation. So it's got to be 100%. Like that. Let's try to not do that. Let's do this. Come on now. Yeah, it's not gonna. Can I do it there? Can do it there. And then we get this. There we go. The reason why is I started noticing that I'm already getting a considerable amount of lag, and as you can probably see it, trying to place blocks. That is definitely from the foundation. Not rendering, I don't think. I think it just foundations for some reason eat up a ton of RAM because of the physics that they represent. So there's a lot of calculations that go into these foundations since they are the basis of everything. That's my guess. I'm no game designer. Wonder, I think the sandstone one is the only ramp that doesn't look like a slab. Nope, it looks like a slab. There's none under arena. Black ice is going to be way too obvious. Also using the reinforced ramp. This just, yeah, all of it is going to just stand out. So you know, that might work. It does look like a slab, but I do kind of like the simplicity of it. What about the Catan? Ooh. No. That looks like a wall was knocked over. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool. But storm glass is way too uppity. Okay, I think we're gonna go with that. Load some. I think that's gonna work best for our ramp. I would like it to look like a permanent structure to me, that those... Oh, that's... Thought it was rocks I hadn't broken yet. Which the respawn on this server is set extremely slow. Again, it's if you missed the last stream or didn't watch it previously, the server is a social RP server, so you're intended to work together. If you ever look at medieval history and stuff, there were very few, if none, self-made rich people that were not born into wealth or anything like that. Most of the time, anybody that had wealth measurement were born into it because their families owned businesses with other people. And crap, of course that's like that. And that's kind of the goal for the market system here. Now you will be able to, I mean, you can figure out a way without exploiting how to do it. Highly recommend it. I do intend to create some NPCs where you could maybe get easy money, not necessarily buy your own kingdom kind of money, but definitely something you'd be able to do. Obviously, all NPC programming is going to be done off screen. I'm streaming my scripting of my NPCs or anything where it would be too obvious on where you need to go to get that exploit. Not necessarily an exploit, but take advantage. But yeah, I want to try to make this server, as I said in the last stream, as I want the economy to be player run. I definitely want that to be the case. I have NPCs obviously with money that are going to help get you started. And I plan on having more. I plan on having an entire marketplace of NPCs that are buying, selling, trading, you know, all the common stuff that you would want to trade, especially to help build your empire, like if your business empire, mind you. Like, for instance, if you need iron and don't have the time to mine it, I'm going to have an NPC that people can go to and sell their iron to, and then you can buy it from them, or obviously you can do person-to-person transactions. This is really annoying me far out this to go. Like, my intention of this was to be flat. It's clearly not the case here. But this is, so maybe we'll have our market more here, and this will be housing right by the front gate. Safest place, right? Most of the town housing is going to be boarding houses. Again, simply because if you want to build your house, you build it in the wilds outside of the walls. If you want to permanently live in the city, then it's going to be a kingdom-owned, almost like an apartment. The only people invited to live in kingdom will be people who work for the kingdom, too. Another big plan. Till there, I accidentally that one. Which I was going to change, but then I realized, no, I'm going to be bulldozing. So, in the meantime, I'm going to store my food. Much time left on those. You can ignore my inventory. A lot of this is getting junked. Keep ending up with spoiled fruit. There it is. Gosh, this is gonna take a while. It's gonna be a big lag fest. I wonder if I can... Might have to rent more RAM. One thing you can do with server blend is you can literally like increase your server's RAM, stuff like that. Our grand entrance. Please don't. Crap. Again, gotta make this even. Really don't want to because of how much more foundation it takes. I mean, fucking 8 to 10 more foundation, which is valuable space. Oh, you got... Oh my god. This next one's gonna be under 2, I think. No, okay, cool. So there's our line. You know what, we're only gonna go to there. The server is open to the public. For those who are interested, just look up Age of Civilization, and there'll be 2 that come up. There's one in England, and then this is the American one. It says Roleplay on it. Go ahead and there's on the main. The only thing I ask is, if you're watching this, you'll know, just stay out of the city for now. It is severely under construction. Mind you, it'll be quite difficult to get here on this server. The difficulty is maxed out to the extreme. The only thing that's not messed with when it comes to the difficulty is stamina is untouched. Other than that, it is NPCs I did not increase to max damage. They do full damage, but you do 1/10 damage. And the reason for that is the game becomes way too easy, honestly. This is supposed to be like the Savage Lands. It's supposed to be difficult to survive, all of that. And let's be honest, once you learn the hot spots, which this game being multiple years old now, everybody knows where those hot spots are for materials and stuff, and easy grind areas for fat XP. yeah, it's not going to be doable anymore. The only one that I can think of would be the Dredges dungeon. And the Dredges dungeon, it's easy once you're in there, and you can always exploit the boss in there. But XP payout is tanked on kills. It's at the minimum. If I could turn it off, I would. I don't think it's possible. I looked into it a bit. But yeah, getting to the Dredges is going to be the hard part, because you have to go through that camp at the beginning. And then, of course, you have to kill a guy on the platform to open the Dredges. And a one-on-one fight feels almost like PvP in the server currently. Like the AI, you whack them and you might see a sliver of health disappear. Which is totally intentional. Sorry if you could hear that. That's my ice maker in my kitchen. We lost power due to Ian for a little bit. And obviously my ice maker, the ice melted in the freezer. We lost it for like 12 hours, so it melted enough to where all the ice just became a giant block. So, yeah, remaking all my ice. Which, being a heavy water drinker, is important. Part of me wanted to keep this unpaved, like keep the whole town. Sorry, speaking of water, I wanted to keep the whole floor, or the whole ground, natural. And the issue therein lies, it becomes a farm. You're now protected within city limits with an infinite supply of stone, which, no, just no. Be nice for the merchants, but I'm a big risk versus reward type guy, and as it applies in real life very heavily, and it's going to be hard to be immersed in something that's not even semi-realistic. So with that, that's also why the combat is so amped up on difficulty, is it's going to take a hell of a warrior, an extremely experienced warrior, to go into a bandit camp solo and fight 6 to 10 people to the death solo, as it probably should. So it will. Even as a maxed out hero, you're going to probably be stepping out a couple times in the fight, as you would. Less action movie, more applied reality comes to that. You know what? I could be picky about that little bit of grass there, but I'm not going to. Trying to avoid building down. But it's gonna make. think this is the last row I'm gonna do up, and I'm gonna do level it, because it looks like it's starting to get to where just have a lower level. Except for right here. You know what? I'm gonna fill it in. Oh, come on. You know, screw it. We'll leave it. I don't want to have to do an entire row of foundations just for 2 blocks, essentially. So while that palace, or while that has its own dungeon, my goal is to get the palace to have a dungeon. Like an actual dungeon. Creepy, stinky, moist, nasty place. This is more for the publicly charged. The dungeon will be more for private royal prisoners, if you will. The prison over here is going to be publicly available for gloaters. You are a Blackadder fan like myself. The whole Executioner episode. Oh, we don't allow gloaters. You don't come in here to gloat. Beautiful. We're gonna have gloaters. You want to come in and torment and taunt the criminal element? Have at it. Ooh, we're gonna have to go up. Make it. And why that? We have to make sure you're not a gloater. You know, gloating and taunting the prisoners. Plus, it can make for some cool roleplay. Think of it this way. Loved one ends up in the prison. Heartbroken wife, mistress, whatever, sticks with him outside of his cell every day, every night, waiting. Guards report to the kingdom, hey, we got this wife who won't leave. What do we do? I think it'd be really cool. Yeah, this could be a little alleyway. I think we're gonna fill across. My ADD is obviously popping up. I've got a lot of unpacking to do today, so kind of just trying to scramble as much as I can right now and give myself an idea of what I'll be doing later. You know, future self. Hey, future self, this is clearly what I was planning on doing. This is where my head was at the time. Make it work. Tear it out. Something of We're gonna have to go down. That gives us squared. High all the way across. Reasoning being it's dipping up a little bit. Don't think high. Wait, maybe. Oh. I was thinking of doing stairs all the way along anyway. They'll bury that pretty well. Yeah. A little bit of concealment. Crap. Not as much concealment as okay, so we go one more block up. Oh, that's why I'm hearing that land overriding some of our main road here. And maybe not stairs the whole way, huh? Maybe just over a certain area. Like that. This. You know what, I like the old stairs better. So the black road obviously is going to be the more fancy road. I don't want to go too fancy on the rest. I am only using reinforced stone brick for the coloring. I know we can paint with one of my mods. Maybe we will. I don't know if I want to get that crazy, because clearly that's going to be a mega truckload of work if I'm having to paint every one of these bricks separately. Placing them alone is a level of tedium. I would definitely offer somebody to help out. However, I am super picky about stuff. For instance, anytime I do movies, I very much go the auteur route. I have a horrible tendency to be like, well, this is how it's going to be. The end. Which is also annoying because I worked a lot in cinematography. And in cinematography, it's a nightmare to work with a auteur director because they think they know best. And you might have an insight to a lighting angle, camera angle, something like that, where you're expert. And the auteur are just like, you know, fuck off with that idea. So I know how much of a pain in the ass we can be. Okay, so from here we're just gonna fade down. I don't really want to build that up. I know it doesn't make any sense to have such a high cliff face. Maybe I'll throw a ladder in there. I think I've got ladders. If I'm not mistaken, I've got ladders. We'll do that just to follow the road. And see, that's another thing I gotta control with my OCD. This, I want to, you know what? I'm gonna say this I want to fill in, but I have to teach myself that it's kind of okay to have alleys and dark corners that make no point. Because you have that. You're gonna have that in evil times. It's gonna be, well, we just ran out of material, or it's just what fits. Oh, I have to. Edge of the steps. You ever see me do this? You'll find that sometimes it snaps, or won't snap, like right here. Says there's nothing available, but if you wipe away and then go, it'll appear. It's a weird bug in the crafting system, or construction system. I wish they would have fixed it with 3.0. They did not, clearly, as we are running 3.0. And they haven't really updated the construction system other than this new, like, way to construct. They haven't updated how it acts, probably since launch, I want to say. And they haven't done many bug fixes on it. I take that back. After launch, they did release the physics to it. You used to be able to just build floating anything, and since then they made to where, you know, gravity factors into your structure. You see now, awful now. Out to there on that side, but not out to there. This is one of my OCD things. The benefit is we can make a row of houses. Scheiße. Row of houses up here. A bunkhouse or something. Or we could put the tavern there. Ooh. Oh. You know what? I'm going to do a sign before I forget that, because I will not be building it right now. Okay. It could be a tavern and inn. So, just like you have in other RPGs, classics. I've been playing Dragon Quest IV recently on my DS out of nowhere. Happened when I lost power. My DS, I just happened to have charged that week and never played Dragon Quest IV, but had it on my DS. So I decided to play it. Not 4, I mean. I played Dragon Quest 1 back in the day. But, anyways, yeah, so you have your first floor of your tavern, which is going to be your bar, your entertainment area, and then second floor will be the rooms. Need a tavern keeper. Any job that you can think of, we plan on having, essentially. I can put an NPC in there, and I can set them up to charge. But yeah, obviously player interaction is way, way better. See, again, part of me wants to double up here, but I'm not going to. This is going to be wide, and it's not going to be so blatantly obvious. Like, you know what? A little place to hang out. Another way of clearing it is to go into destruct mode and then right back in build mode. You can ignore the gorilla that's leaving. I came back from 3.0 and like everybody, I wanted to test things. The gorilla has always been tameable. I personally just needed a guard that wasn't a human in my palace. Why can I not build on top there? So if you watched on the last stream, I talked about how this is going to be pretty much where the palace begins. So from here all the way over to pretty much that corner, and maybe over here, might cut it to where that wall is going to be palace. That's where hopefully we have enough community. I want to kind of get some people to design the palace with me, or even somebody for me. I would love to see somebody's creative output on a castle. Well, that's kind of big, but not. I mean, obviously it's going to be big, but I want to get to the point where the people who work for the kingdom live in the castle with the king. Okay, we're gonna start. Can't. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. If it's going to make a right or left turn here and go straight into the kingdom, well, it won't work. It'll have to go like, ooh. How did I know? Okay. Kind of like how the Black Road or the main road dead ends, and then it goes up into the temple. I want one, maybe one road. We'll see. Maybe 2 rows going to the kingdom. It'd have to go like all the way to here and make a right. I would do angles, but I find angles to be infuriating in the Alright, I'll do this one more row, and then I think we'll call it a stream. We're at about an hour now. What I'm going to try to do is, next time I stream this, I'm going to kind of elaborate on the lore a little bit, I think. The server. Make it a little bit more interesting to watch than somebody placing cubes. Because I know that's not exactly the funnest thing. But yeah, I'm going to extrapolate a little on the lore and the concepts. Oh, I know what I can do before I go. So I can show you guys one of the little, your first encounter with the kingdom. It's going to be, so in your first encounter with the kingdom, if you look, we're looking at Hanuman's grotto. Here's all the broken highways. They all come down, the sentinels. There's a bridge. Why is there a bridge? Don't know, don't care. Maybe so you don't have to swim. I'm trying to keep the sand creatures out of the base. That's why I put these spikes up, because the shellbacks constantly keep wandering over here like that. And like I said, everything is much more difficult to kill. A shellback fight, even as a level 100, which I've set this character at, is a hell of a fight. It's more of a fight than you would expect. So, you know, you've got your traders here. Gerald, a guy called Gerald. Great band, by the way. Food and vendor drink. You press E. Here we are. He's got stuff, you know, cost 10 bronze, 5 bronze, stuff like that. Now, that is the kingdom's official currency. Here's the thing with official currencies in different environments like that, RPGs. You can have an unofficial currency. Here's our rumors. This is Micah. He specializes in rumors. Rumor has it, palaces in Devil's Squat to the northwest. So that's where our kingdom is right now. Devil's Squat. There's my dead body. Accidentally teleported off the map. And then we have our final merchant who handles, this is Nentok. Hello. And she will buy your gold coins and your silver coins for trade at the right amount. So if you find gold coins and loot or silver coins and loot, you can sell them to her for the imperial currency. And she's also going to buy your stone off of you, stuff like that. So you have a play, and same with this. Anything they're selling, they'll buy. So that's the goal, is to make it to where you can convert your currency. Anyways, what I was saying is, in any RPG or anything, Can't remember what game I was playing. I don't know if it was a game or a movie. Basically, they said, the peasants aren't using the currency. They're using like iron bars as currency. And to me, I think that's amazing. Like, the official currency, the imperial currency, doesn't necessarily have to be the only currency. Oh, that house is worth, 100 bars of iron. Stuff like that. Because in a player-driven economy, that's going to be what makes your money. That's going to be what makes everything good. A barter system, essentially. If you're a blacksmith, a bunch of iron bars or even iron ore is going to be worth way more to you. And I am using the wrong rocks. It's going to be worth way more to you than raw coin, even. Yeah, you can kind of do something with the raw coin, but I do not remember where I put the box. Yeah, the raw coin is good. Don't get me wrong. Money is money. But you could turn that, let's say, into a master sword that somebody else can't. A higher quality elite sword or something like that. So, yeah. Having that iron could be, in some instances, worth more. And that's what I would like to see. I think that would be way cooler than the actual imperial currency, which will currently exist. And people's pay rates and stuff like that are all going to be adjusted as opposed to what they work in the empire or in the kingdom. If you're a noble, your daily or your weekly pay is going to be higher or lower. Or higher than if, let's say, you're a groundskeeper or something like that. If you're a noble who helps heavily in the kingdom, maybe works as a knight, things like that. Especially if you're an active knight, going in, doing purges, stuff like that. It'll be awesome. You'll be making way more money. But the pay system in this is set up to where you have to be online. There's not going to be any people who logged in once, created an account, didn't get it on for 2 weeks, comes back to a millionaire. That ain't going to be happening. I've set it up to where you have to be active. Everything is about being active on here. The most XP you're going to get is your idle XP. It's actually higher than your harvesting XP and higher than your fighting XP. So just being active and being social on the server is the most important part. And for those who thought that maybe you can sit idle on the server and just let your character rack up XP and money. 1, there's an AFK timer. 2, if you build a macro and I discover it, you're going to find out how broke you are. And we are going to create a roleplay event based on you. That'll probably be a purge or something. Obviously, it'll be done in character and stuff like that. A witch hunt or something crazy. Something fun. Something fun for everybody to get involved in. Blood hunt. Oh, we think so-and-so murdered somebody. This is where they're living. Something cool like that. Like, I want to get events going that get people involved. That's really it. Another question that I'm probably going to get a lot of is sorcery. So sorcery for now is kind of a no-no. And the reason why is it's extremely broken. So while the corruption on this server was going to be such a handicap, like it's a bad handicap to begin with, especially when you get maxed out. Getting that 50% corruption is very, very devastating to deal with. Because especially with this, you're taking full damage, dishing out half damage, and now 50% of your health and stamina are gone. Yeah. It's going to be a handicap for sure. I don't think it's going to be enough of a handicap for how literally overpowered sorcery is right now. The Army of the Dead spell I've used to take down bosses in this. It's world bosses are almost a joke with it. It's extremely overpowered. And the last thing I want is somebody coming into town and summoning Army of the Dead and wiping out the entire player base and NPC base. And until we can restrict specific spells, I don't see how it would benefit the server to have it. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just it's too much for right now. I may open it up to specific players as the king, and this is totally out of character, don't metagame the shit out of this, but the king is a warlock. So there's no knowledge of this, by the way, in-game. None at all. So if you start spreading that rumor or something like that, I'm going to know you metagamed. And metagaming's a no-no in my games. So he could allow somebody to start the path of magic. It's basically, I would have to find a player that is a trusted player that we know won't exploit the living hell out of it. Essentially, you know, like the spell where I cleared all the ore and stuff like that. That's an exploit, man. That's gonna be, like you would... That would be an intense one. Like, that would be a quick road to riches. And that's a low-level spell. Same with ice bridges into the palace, stuff like that. Like, because the palace will be locked off. That will be private entry only. The only people that will be allowed in there are people that are part of the kingdom in some fashion. No, we don't need to go up on the... Yeah, so that's the magic, the sorcery summed up. I might open it up and make it a criminal offense to practice, which would make for some really cool witch hunt storylining. I haven't decided yet. That's one thing that we're going to talk about. I also want to try to work out where if you have a roleplay death for your character in the game, let's say it's an event death, so you decide to go to sorcery, and we allow it, and you get witch hunted, and you get burned at the stake, for instance. I want that to be final character death. So you would have to essentially re-roll a character after that. Or any type of PvP death. So PvP deaths, PvP is not on the server. It's not open, anything like that. But there will be a desert arena. It will be maybe in that big open place that I said I was going to put the teleporters on the last stream. We'll see. Maybe not. It might be a combo thing. Kind of a teleporter, building, and arena. But in the arena, death will be final. And again, like any RP death, let's say, for instance, you got tired of your character, you can roleplay heart attack, we can make it happen. Essentially, I would just send a kill command to your character. It would remain in the world as long as they remain in the world, which so far almost feels like forever, because that dead body that you saw on my map, right there, that's 2 days old, real time. So it might become public knowledge that the king is sorcerer. It depends on how we do sorcery. I don't know how I always make myself drop like that. The only reason why I would make it popular knowledge is the whole summoning corpse thing. Resurrection, that sort of thing. Might make it part of the storyline that you can't die. You are bound to this world, and kind of give it almost a Valheim type story of it basically being purgatory. Sorry for those of you who haven't played Valheim or beat it. Spoiler. But I think it's right in the storyline that you're purgatory there. So maybe this is our Valheim. Don't know. I have my character background written, I have a couple quests written, but none of them have to do with the heavy over-arc story. I did want to initially make NPC death, so if you get killed by an NPC, I wanted that to make it permanent death. I feel like too many people would complain about that. That the difficulty would be way too much. I do have, if you go on and join and go to our Discord, you'll see I have death tracking on. So it tells us in Discord when you die and what killed you. We'll see, maybe we'll put it to vote. I gotta get people on the server. Right now, I am the only person that's been on this server. Obviously, I haven't been promoting it too much other than doing this streaming now. And I posted it on Steam, but man, there's like 100 servers posted a day on Steam, so it quickly got buried. I know I was gonna end this like minutes ago. Yeah, so we'll put it to vote maybe on the Discord and see if people are okay with character death being a real thing, then you would have no corpse resurrections, no summonings, anything like that. Which then would keep the whole, hey, the king is a sorcerer thing a secret. Little less James Earl Jones in Conan. More, I don't know. Jeremy Irons in Dungeons and Dragons. But I mean, it was pretty obvious and pretty blatant that he was a mage. They didn't really make that a subplot by any measure. Maybe, I can't remember. God, it's been so long since I've watched that D&D movie. Alright, I really do gotta cut it. It's starting to be nightfall in the game anyways, as you can see by the light starting to really show here. Nightfall is like 2 hours long in real time anyways, so building in this is going to be a nightmare. Server is live, so even though I'm not on, it will still be going. Exit creative. Yeah, and I hate having everything right here in my palace. It's a little annoying. There we go. I was gonna say, I swore I got some ironstone and copper when I did the clearings. I don't know what to do with this copper. If you know what to do with the copper, let me know. The Emberlight doesn't really come with a lot of details. The Emberlight mod, that is. It comes with some details, but not a ton. And like I said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody for watching and coming out. Yeah, feel free to drop a message or something like that. I really, really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, obviously this is archived. Same with Twitch. Twitch, it takes down after a couple days, but YouTube is forever. So make sure if you didn't catch it on Twitch, well, obviously you're listening to this, you'll catch it on Twitch. Anyways, yeah, if you ever want to watch it again, it's on YouTube.